Hello everybody, hello. This is Sia. Welcome to my channel. As you might have noticed, I'm in a different location right now because I'm in Greece. So I'm not sure which my background is going to be, but maybe this will do. I don't know. It's not the best. And one very positive thing about this is that, of course, we have a lot of sunlight, so I'm always gonna have natural sunlight coming through the window, so the lighting is gonna look good. So we love that. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about self-love because I actually had this epiphany this morning. I already knew about it. There are a lot of things you know, but they only click when something happens or when you get told something. You know, it just clicks. It's something you've been thinking about and you were like, yeah, that's important, whatever. But you haven't actually considered the real implication of that thing on your life, right? How you need to apply it and how important it actually is. You recognize that, yeah, there's some value in it, but you don't take it seriously or do anything about it. So in that, for me, as the title of this video implies, is that self-love is not a feeling. It's an action. Okay, so this is kind of clickbaity because self-love at the end of the day is a feeling as well. So it's not just an action. So I'm going to explain my rationale between saying this thing that I am. Okay, so self-love has been a very important thing in my life. It's something I'm really trying to focus on because for a very long time in my life, I've been trying to, even unknowingly, get validation from other people, even though I've done a lot in my life to stop getting the validation from outside of myself. I've done a lot of work on that in my life, but I never really did that out of a place of real love for myself. Like, I care about you and I want the best for you. That would be the same thing you would do to your child if you love them, or to somebody else that you love them. You would do something that would be good for them, that will lead to their growth, that would lead to their development, right? So the actions you take need to align with that feeling of self-love. So I've been thinking about the fact that when someone else loves us, right, it's not that we just feel loved just because, they're kind of there. How we need to feel their love is when they take specific actions, right? Every person, they shows their love differently. And one person in your life, like say your partner, might be showing you love by giving you kisses in the morning, or making you breakfast, or taking you out on a date to the place you really love as a surprise. Little things like that, that are very nice. These things would really make you feel loved, again, based on your own definition of love and your partners as well, which should be communicated so you know that you actually feel loved. So both people, both parties need to know that, this is what my partner likes, this is how they feel loved, and this is how I'm going to show it to them. And if there's an incompatibility there where you don't really want to do that specific kind of work to love them in the way they want to be loved, then that is not a relationship that can last. And you yourself need, of course, specific type of love, but in the same way, you're not just going to wake up and just try to conjure the feeling of self-love. All that's also a very important exercise that you can do, because when you really feel calm in your body, it's easier for you to just feel that love for yourself really flow in. But most importantly, it's the actions you take towards yourself. And like I said, like with relationships, that love you're going to show to yourself is going to be completely different to someone else's, to how someone else would love their own selves. So you feel loved differently. Okay? So, there is one very important question to ask to yourself that I heard many ages ago, but back then I didn't actually really truly consider the importance of self-love, and I was simply trying to improve myself so I can escape any feelings of self-loathing I had for myself. And that question is, what would someone that loves themselves do? Okay, so if a certain situation comes up where you don't really feel comfortable, you don't feel good, but in a very negative way, because there are a lot of uncomfortable situations that you can find yourself in, which are good. They're good for you because they're challenging you to do and to be better. But a lot of the time, you just find yourself in situations like maybe you're with someone who doesn't really make you feel good. They make you feel horrible about yourself, and you recognize that feeling kick out for you where something doesn't feel right in that dynamic between you and that person, and you want out, right? And you recognize that in order to love yourself, the thing you need to do above all is abandon that situation, leave that person, or just, at least try to reconciliate and find the middle ground between you and them, so you can restore that feeling of equilibrium and love in the context of that relationship and the love towards yourself. So, of course, as you're your own individual person, you will need to answer this question differently, like I said. So, just because somebody typically loves themselves by doing some self-care and doing some skincare for them, for example, like if you're a girl, that doesn't mean that that's going to be your form of self-love. Your form of self-love is going to be very deeply personal. It's going to be you giving yourself things maybe you didn't receive in childhood. So you didn't take validation. If you weren't given validation from people, then you will need to give your own self validation. So that will mean, for example, congratulating yourself for things you've done, or seeing yourself in a situation where you didn't feel seen by someone else. They didn't recognize something. And you recognize it in yourself because you're your own self. You're with you 24/7. So you know whether you've made progress at certain things, for example, and you can congratulate yourself and make yourself feel good and positive about it, because you aren't really getting that outside of yourself. And without really cultivating this kind of self-love, you'll always be seeking it outside of yourself. And one thing I've been struggling to come to terms with for a very long time, I believe that self-love means I'm going to completely stop relying on anyone else's love. I'm not going to want their love. But the reality is that when you actually really love yourself, you go to people that make you feel good and that actually reflect that same kind of love you have for yourself back to you. So this isn't a thing that you just do with yourself and you don't get that validation from outside of yourself, but it all starts with you. Because if you don't have a general sense and feeling of self-love in yourself, then you're not really going to feel it as strongly from another person. At least it might help you see the potential in yourself and love yourself better. That's why I don't think that you should love yourself perfectly to allow yourself to be in a relationship or something. Although it will really help to make the relationship stronger, because otherwise it will be a lot easier for it to collapse, right? So yeah, you need to answer this question for yourself. So take out a piece of paper. If you're watching this, then you are struggling with taking action in a way that will make you feel good about yourself, in a way that only you can do that, right? So that could be actions towards you working on your goals, okay? It could be the little things that you do every day for yourself, giving yourself a healthy meal. It will be, again, just validating yourself, exiting situations, leaving people. So if you want to start really cultivating self-love, and maybe you're just doing meditations, for example, for self-love, or just listening to affirmations, but nothing is really changing in your external reality, it means you haven't taken actions to actually love yourself. And the only way to really feel the love, like I said with the partner example, is by taking the action. And that's when the feeling of love is going to start showing up naturally. And then as you do the things that you do and you connect the actions that you take towards love, like, oh, I'm doing this because I really care about myself. I really care to do well and to feel good. You know, I'm a valuable human being and I need to do the best that I can to take care of myself so I can thrive and grow. So you need to answer this question for yourself, and then it might be, again, the subtlest, the most subtle thing that you can do in your everyday. Okay? So just for example, ignoring like a remark of someone that you don't find to align with where you want to feel, where you want to be and how you want to feel. You know, if somebody doesn't see you, whatever it is for you, you know, answer these questions very clearly. So every time that comes up, it's going to start becoming a more automatic thing for you, where you instantly go into that action. Okay. And then naturally, the feeling of self-love will come up because you'll think to yourself, why did I do that? Oh, it's because I'm a rad, amazing human being and I love myself so much. And yeah, and as you do that more and more, pay attention to how different people make you feel, to how you make yourself feel when you take certain actions, and notice which actions actually really help you really cultivate self-love for yourself. So it will be a trial and error process where you constantly pay attention to things that you do and things that other people do for you and how they make you feel, and then you become more selective about what things you allow yourself to experience and to take from other people, and what kind of things you would do for your own self and what things you would avoid for your own self. You might think that something is going to lead to more self-love, but it might really be nothing. It might not be valuable at all. So you will find out what those things are, and the feeling is just gonna start coming up so much more naturally for you. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you like this video, and I'm gonna get on with some work now. So have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.